Hello. So I've created an exercise in collaboration with my friend and colleague Cal, and what we've done is taken the different layers of experience or awakening as we've mapped them, and for each layer we've pulled out some trigger phrases and also some alignment phrases. So the trigger phrases are there to show you the parts of yourself that aren't yet integrated, that are pain points, that are challenging for you. And the alignment phrases are there as a kind of compass to help you align towards, truth, love, compassion, understanding. And this is just a short video to show you how you can work with some of those phrases. So the best thing to do is to read through all the triggers and alignment phrases and find ones where something in you goes like, that really speaks to me. Either a trigger phrase that brings stuff up in you you react strongly to, or an alignment phrase where you're like, yes, I really need this, I really want this. And the majority of this video is going to be how to work with the trigger phrase in a tantric way. So we will do a guided meditation for that. Just before we start, there's a really important aspect of this, which is, it's using the tantric philosophy that essentially everything is Buddha nature. So that's the kind of place that we're moving from when we're approaching these trigger phrases, because it's important that we're not connecting with them in a way where we're thinking like, this is bad about us, or this is wrong about the world. We're moving from a place of wholeness, love, acceptance, open-mindedness, about how we can, change our perspective on things. Things that we think are inside us could actually be out in the world. Things that are out in the world could be our projections. That sense of emptiness, open-mindedness. Just generally moving from this place of emptiness and love. I will start by reading out the alignment phrase for the white layer. And the white layer is like with the rainbow colours, it's white light is the full spectrum of light. So it's almost like white is the place where once everything is aligned in the full spectrum, we can really get in tune with the white. But with kind of the tantric approach, we're essentially adopting the belief and the understanding that that's what's already here. We just need to sort of uncover it. So hopefully that will make sense as I drop the phrase in at the start. And another aspect is that we want this to come from a place of open-heartedness, pleasant sensations in the body, emptiness in the mind, and just a sense of like really meeting our challenge with compassionate presence for shadows or difficulties. So that it may be that you need to do some other practices that support this in your practice as well, your capacity to be able to show up for content in this way. But for now, we'll just dive straight in, and it should all make sense as we go through. So I'm going to use, as an example, I'm going to use the first one in the red layer. So the phrase that I'm going to pick out to use as the trigger is "you don't matter." And we're going to drop that in. And essentially what we're doing is just from a place of that wholeness, that Buddha nature, is recognizing the impact that phrase has on us. And maybe that when we receive it, there's it hits us in our bodies and our emotions, and it can cause some grief or anger, and it may be that something needs to be purified, something needs to be felt and got out in a kind of embodied, present jhanic way. It may just be that we notice the phrase "you don't matter," we have a certain response which we can watch in ourselves, and actually it might just be that seeing it is enough. So seeing the sense of when we hear "you don't matter," it might be like, yeah, of course I don't matter. And that's like, oh, just watching that in yourself. Or maybe when you hear you don't matter, you realise that you go around the world, interacting with people just thinking, oh, you don't matter, you don't matter, you don't matter. So there's a way in which we're just like watching, feeling, noticing, being with the impact, making space for that from a place where we know that we're safe. And yeah, the purpose of this is that these are all trigger phrases of things that are often, bound up. So either blind spots that we can't even look at because it's too painful, twisted energies where they've become, like things that we react very strongly and heavily around, or like shadows where we project them out very strongly or turn them into things that are bad or wrong about us. And the idea is just to like create some space, create some untangling, be able to be present with it, allow it to be an aspect, just like an aspect of the universe that floats through in the same way that, hunger, it's like, oh, I'm hungry right now. It's like, oh, I feel like I don't matter right now. Or, it's like just an aspect of experience that can like float through and be present without so much like tangle and weight. And then the more of experience that we're able to be like in that open, spacious, empty, loving way, the more, just like the more whole we can be, the more pleasant experiences, the more we're able to show up in mature, engaged ways where we're really like dealing with what's present between people rather than, kind of like bouncing off and reacting and coming from hate or greed or fear or, those more like painful places. So that's the purpose. And let's just go into it. It should be a fairly quick meditation. So you can close your eyes or you can have your eyes open, and just gonna start by taking a really deep breath into the belly so that the belly expands. And then a nice slow out breath through the nose. Aiming for at least 4 seconds on the out breath with the nose, because that just gives our bodies and our nervous system the signal that we're safe. So we'll just do a few of those. And as you relax, just noticing if any like subtle tensions releasing as you're doing these nice slow breaths. Really like coming into yourself, into your body, being present. Just letting the parts of you that are ready to relax, just relax. If you can, finding a part of experience that feels pleasant. So maybe the breath, maybe the hands, maybe it's an energy that you can tune into. Just some place that feels safe, that feels resourced, that feels present. Checking in with the heart space. Feeling a sense of love towards ourselves and others. And I'm going to start by reading out the phrase for white to make sure that that's where we're moving from. I feel valued and accepted in the world. I feel whole and like every part of me is welcome, even the difficult parts. I feel confident and motivated to work towards cultivating more freedom, more beauty, more truth, and more love in myself and in the world. I sense the underlying goodness that creates the universe, and I move from this place. So just allowing that to sink into your being and be present as much as is possible at this moment. It doesn't need to be perfect. And just remembering that sense of emptiness, that things don't always seem as they first appear to us. We're just going to drop the phrase into our experience. And the invitation is just to notice the impact that it has on you. You don't matter. You don't matter. You don't matter. And we're just welcoming the impact. So there may be strong emotions that it brings up, or just some gentle emotions in us. It may bring up thoughts, it may bring up stories. And just taking time to be present with what the impact of it is. If there's anything in your experience that feels like it strongly wants to be felt, or just needs to be seen and recognized. Just allowing that without any judgment, with a sense of compassion towards yourself and others. And when you're ready, you can do some of those nice slow belly breaths again. So breathing in so the belly expands, and breathing out through the nose. Just reminding your body that it's safe. You can come back. And it can be nice, it might be nice to just, if it's a phrase, a trigger, you can sit with it as long as you like. So you could do a half hour or 1 hour sit with it. You could do a really short one. It's just this process of sitting with it, noticing, allowing it to be. And then, I guess as the kind of balancing force, there's also the alignment phrases. So it can be nice when you've done a trigger phrase in one of the layers to just like check in with the alignment phrase. So a nice one in the red would be, I feel like I am in the right place and I am safe. And again, it's like it doesn't have to, we can stay in touch with that sense of like emptiness and open-heartedness. So I feel like I'm in the right place and I'm safe it may again bring up strong emotions. It may you may notice the ways in which that doesn't feel true. You may notice the ways in which it is true. That's all fine. It doesn't need to kind of like have a set impact on you, but it's just sort of like really feeling into that sort of positive desire, positive intention, positive orientation, and almost like orienting towards it and using it as a bit of a compass. So again, it may be that when you hear that you want to change some things about your life, or you want to do something differently, or it might just be a kind of lovely reassuring phrase in and of itself to hear. I feel like I am in the right place and I am safe. But I guess the intention around bringing in the alignment phase is just making sure that when we're working with the triggers, it's not about kind of like digging a black hole and then like getting stuck in it and being like, oh, it's all terrible. It's a sense of like, from a place of Buddha nature, bringing up the stuff that is difficult, facing it, and also really connecting with the joy and the love and the good stuff in the world. So making space for both of those things, very inclusive, open-hearted attitude. And then it's nice like with the triggers, I think you want to be a bit careful about how you work with them, because you don't want to be like turning them into a stick to beat yourself with. So it's nice to kind of like just hold some care around how much you work with them, and just making sure you feel like safe and resourced when you're working with them. With the alignment phrases, there's a bit more scope for like just out and about in your day. Just like keeping that phrase, I feel like I am in the right place and I am safe. It can almost become a mantra throughout the day, where you're just like checking in, reminding yourself that that's true, or being like, does this feel true right now? What feels out of alignment? What can I do? Just almost like using it as a bit of like a guiding force in life. So the alignment you can use in the meditation in the same way we did with the trigger, but also like in that wider context. So that's how you can work with them both, and I hope that was helpful, and have fun exploring the full range of your Buddha nature. Bye.